The stars burned cold and distant against the obsidian backdrop of space, casting long shadows across the desolate medical station orbiting the contested planet of Crevalar. Hyun-Ki's broken body lay sprawled across a titanium examination table. His alien physiology, a complex network of iridescent scales and crystalline internal structures, now fractured and barely holding together. The last battle had been brutal. Massive warships from 3 different star systems had transformed the orbital space into a graveyard of twisted metal and scattered debris. Plasma cannons had carved molten scars across kilometers of spacecraft hulls, and electromagnetic pulse waves had turned sophisticated technological systems into nothing more than floating graveyards. Hyun-Ki remembered the moment everything changed. His reconnaissance squadron, the Vanguard Pathfinders, had been tracking an unknown energy signature near the outer hydrogen clouds. Suddenly, without warning, their formation had been obliterated by something that didn't match any known weapon signatures in the galactic databases. His exoskeleton, once a marvel of biomechanical engineering, now resembled a shattered blueprint of what once was impressive defensive technology. Microscopic neural connectors hung like delicate silver threads, sparking intermittently and sending sharp pulses of pain through his nervous system. The medical station hummed with an eerie silence. Automated medical drones moved with calculated precision, their sensors scanning patients but displaying no genuine concern. These were machines programmed to perform tasks, not to understand the nuanced concept of survival or compassion. Around Hyun-Ki, other wounded soldiers from various species lay in similar states of abandonment. A reptilian warrior with emerald-tinted skin breathed through specialized respiratory implants. A silicon-based lifeform's crystalline body reflected dim medical lights, creating rainbow-like refractions across the sterile environment. But nobody cared about Hyun-Ki. Not anymore. His military record, once pristine and celebrated, now meant nothing. The Viridian Collective, his home civilization, had strict protocols about wounded warriors. Those who couldn't return to immediate combat were considered statistical losses, resources to be mathematically calculated and promptly forgotten. The station's ambient temperature remained constant, a perfect 22 degrees Celsius, ideal for multiple physiological requirements, but lacking any sense of warmth or comfort. Diagnostic screens flickered with his rapidly declining vital signs, a digital symphony of approaching mortality. Outside the reinforced observation windows, massive spacecraft continued their silent dance. Massive battle cruisers, some kilometers long, moved like metal leviathans through the cosmic ocean. Smaller interceptor ships darted between them like schools of metallic fish, their fusion drives creating brief, brilliant streaks of light against the darkness. Hyun-Ki's memories drifted between consciousness and the approaching void. He recalled training grounds on his homeworld, vast artificial landscapes where young warriors were molded into living weapons. Endless simulations, brutal physical conditioning, psychological restructuring, all designed to create the perfect soldier who understood nothing beyond mission parameters. A small maintenance robot rolled past his examination table, its optical sensors briefly scanning his deteriorating condition. No response, no intervention, just another data point in a complex military algorithm. His breathing became more labored. Each inhale felt like drawing liquid nitrogen into lungs designed for high-pressure atmospheric conditions. The pain was no longer sharp. It had transformed into a constant numbing pressure that seemed to compress his entire existence. Just when it seemed inevitable that he would become another forgotten statistic in an endless galactic conflict, something unexpected was about to happen. A subtle movement, a distant sound, the faintest hint of approaching footsteps that carried with them a potential for something different, something human. End of Part 1. The narrative maintained a delicate balance, showing the alien's perspective, while keeping human potential as a subtle, promising undertone. The language remained accessible, the descriptions vivid yet not overwhelmingly technical, and the world-building suggested vast, complex conflicts without diving into unnecessary, violent details. Would you like me to proceed with the next part of the story? The medical bay's sliding doors hissed open, releasing a rush of sterilized air that carried the faint smell of advanced medical technology and distant hope. Ji-yoon stepped inside, her dark eyes scanning the rows of wounded soldiers with a precision that spoke of years of specialized training. She was different from the typical medical staff. Where others saw incompatible life forms and complex biological challenges, Ji-yoon saw potential. Her hands, steady from countless emergency procedures, adjusted the advanced neural interface tablet she carried, a device capable of translating and analyzing multiple physiological systems simultaneously. The massive medical station was a marvel of interstellar engineering. Holographic displays flickered with complex medical data, while advanced diagnostic machines hummed with quantum-level scanning capabilities. Alien patients from dozens of different species lay in specialized healing chambers, each requiring unique environmental conditions. Ji-yoon's attention was immediately drawn to Hyun-ki. Something about his fractured exoskeleton and the way his vital signs danced on the edge of complete system failure caught her professional interest. Most medical staff would have written him off, an alien from an unknown species, critically wounded, with biological systems that defied standard medical protocols. But Ji-yoon wasn't most medical staff. She approached the examination table, her fingers dancing across her neural interface. Complex algorithms began parsing Hyun-ki's biological data, an intricate puzzle of alien physiology that would have overwhelmed most medical professionals. Microscopic nanobots in her medical kit began preliminary analysis, their quantum processors working at speeds beyond human comprehension. The maintenance robots around her seemed to pause, their optical sensors tracking her movements with a hint of curiosity. These weren't simple machines. They were advanced artificial intelligence units capable of complex decision-making, yet they seemed perplexed by Ji-yoon's unusual approach. Outside the medical bay's reinforced windows, the cosmic battlefield continued, its silent dance. Massive starships moved like metallic whales through the infinite darkness, their fusion drives creating brief, brilliant streaks of light. Smaller interceptor craft darted between them, like schools of mechanical fish navigating an endless ocean of stars. Ji-yoon began preparing a series of experimental medical procedures. Her research had always focused on cross-species medical interventions, a field most of her colleagues considered practically impossible. She saw beyond the immediate physical challenges, understanding that every life form had its own unique survival mechanism. The diagnostic screens around Hyun-ki began to change. Where previously they showed a steady decline, now they displayed subtle signs of stabilization. Ji-yoon's specialized medical nanobots were working their magic, adapting to the alien's complex biological system with remarkable precision. A senior medical administrator approached, his expression a mixture of confusion and mild irritation. "Dr. Ji-yoon, that specimen is classified as a non-recoverable patient. Standard protocol demands immediate removal from active medical resources." Ji-yoon didn't even look up. Her focus remained entirely on the delicate medical procedure she was preparing. Years of research, countless nights of studying exotic biological systems had prepared her for this moment. "Every life has potential," she muttered, more to herself than to the administrator. "We just need to understand its unique language of survival." The maintenance robots seemed to move slightly closer, their advanced AI systems apparently intrigued by her unconventional approach. They recognized something exceptional was happening, a moment of potential breakthrough that transcended standard operational protocols. Hyun-ki's breathing began to stabilize. The fractured sections of his exoskeleton showed microscopic signs of regeneration, something that should have been impossible according to every medical textbook in the known galaxy. Outside, the cosmic battle continued. But here, in this small medical bay, a different kind of battle was being fought. A battle for life, a battle of understanding, a battle that would soon change everything. End of Part 2. Would you like me to continue with the next part of the story? The soft hum of medical equipment gradually gave way to a more distinct sound, the slow rhythmic breathing of a patient returning to consciousness. Hyun-ki's eyes flickered, revealing intricate iris patterns that shimmered like liquid metal, gradually focusing on the unfamiliar environment around him. Ji-eun sat nearby, her medical tablet displaying a complex network of biological data that seemed to dance with each subtle movement of Hyun-Ki's recovering body. The medical bay had transformed. Adaptive healing chambers now surrounded his examination table, creating a personalized microenvironment that responded to his unique physiological needs. "You're fortunate," Ji-eun spoke softly, her voice cutting through the ambient medical noise. "Most would have considered your condition hopeless." Hyun-Ki's attempt to respond came out as a series of complex clicks and vibrations, a language far removed from any human communication. But something unexpected happened. The medical bay's advanced translation systems began to decode his communication, transforming the alien sounds into comprehensible language. Survival was not expected. His translated voice carried a tone of genuine surprise. The maintenance robots seemed to lean in closer, their advanced AI systems processing this unprecedented interaction. They had witnessed countless medical procedures, but this felt different, a genuine connection forming between two fundamentally different life forms. Outside the medical bay's massive windows, the cosmic landscape continued its eternal dance. Massive starships moved like metallic leviathans through the infinite darkness, their fusion drives creating brief, brilliant streaks of light against the obsidian backdrop of space. Distant planetary systems glimmered like scattered jewels, each holding countless untold stories. Ji-eun noticed something extraordinary happening. As Hyun-Ki's biological system stabilized, his exoskeleton began showing remarkable regenerative capabilities. Microscopic neural connectors rewove themselves, creating intricate patterns that defied standard medical understanding. "Your species?" Ji-eun asked, her professional curiosity piqued. "What do you know about survival?" Hyun-Ki's response was complex. He spoke of the Viridian Collective, a civilization that viewed individual life as a resource to be strategically managed. Soldiers were not individuals but components of a larger military machine. Wounded warriors were considered inefficient, quickly replaced by newer, undamaged units. The maintenance robots processed this information, their quantum processors creating complex ethical algorithms. They recognized the profound difference between Hyun-Ki's cultural perspective and the human concept of individual value. A holographic display activated, showing Hyun-Ki's complete biological profile. Layers of medical data revealed not just his physical condition, but the intricate story of his existence. Years of military conditioning, countless interstellar conflicts, a life defined by strategic utility rather than personal meaning. Ji-eun's approach was different. Where his culture saw a broken weapon, she saw a living being with potential beyond immediate military value. Her hands moved across her medical interface, documenting every remarkable aspect of his recovery. "Your body is telling an incredible story," she remarked. "Most would have died. You're rewriting the possibilities of survival." Hyun-Ki's translated response carried a hint of vulnerability. "My people would see this recovery as inefficient, a waste of medical resources." The medical bay seemed to pulse with a different energy. The maintenance robots adjusted environmental controls, creating a space that felt less like a clinical environment and more like a place of genuine connection. Outside, another wave of spacecraft moved through the distant starfield. Interceptor ships darted between massive battlecruisers, their fusion drives creating brief, brilliant trajectories. But here, inside this medical bay, a different kind of journey was unfolding. A journey of understanding, of breaking through. Cultural barriers, Ji-eun smiled, a simple human gesture that seemed to communicate more than words. In that moment, Hyun-Ki understood something profound. Survival was more than physical preservation. It was about connection, about seeing value beyond immediate utility. The first true connection between human and alien had begun. End of part. Would you like me to continue with the next part of the story? The research laboratory hummed with an electric anticipation, its walls lined with holographic displays and quantum computing interfaces that seemed to breathe with technological potential. Hyun-Ki and Ji-eun stood side by side, their unlikely partnership transforming the very concept of medical research. Months of collaboration had revealed something extraordinary. Hyun-Ki's unique biological structure possessed regenerative capabilities that could revolutionize medical treatment across multiple species. His body wasn't just healing, it was rewriting the fundamental understanding of cellular recovery. "Look here," Jiun pointed to a holographic projection, her fingers dancing, across complex molecular structures. Intricate networks of bioneural connections displayed themselves like living art, pulsing with an almost sentient rhythm. The maintenance robots moved closer, their advanced AI systems analyzing every microscopic detail. Hyun-Ki's expertise from years of military biological training combined perfectly with Ji-Eun's medical research. Where traditional medical approaches saw limitations, they saw possibilities. Their work transcended typical scientific boundaries, creating something entirely unprecedented. The massive research station orbited a distant neutron star, its advanced shielding protecting the most groundbreaking medical research in the known galaxy. Outside the reinforced windows, massive research vessels moved like silent guardians, their fusion drives creating subtle light patterns against the cosmic darkness. The Viridian medical protocols would never allow this level of exploration, Hyun-Ki explained, his translated voice carrying a mixture of excitement and newfound wonder. "In my culture, medical research is purely functional. Survival is a mathematical equation." Ji-Eun's approach was different. She saw each biological system as a unique story waiting to be understood. Their collaborative breakthrough wasn't just about healing. It was about reimagining the very concept of life and recovery. The quantum computers began processing their combined research. Algorithms danced across holographic displays, revealing potential medical treatments that could save millions of lives across different star systems. Wounded soldiers from a dozen different civilizations could now have hope where previously there was only statistical despair. Maintenance robots worked alongside them, their advanced AI systems creating complex predictive models. They recognized this was more than just a medical breakthrough. It was a moment of profound interspecies collaboration. Hyun-Ki's body had become a living testament to their research. His regenerative capabilities had far exceeded any known medical expectations. Where his previous military culture would have discarded him as a broken resource, he was now the key to potentially saving countless lives. "We're creating something beyond medical treatment," Ji-Eun said, her eyes reflecting the complex holographic displays. "We're creating a new understanding of life itself." The research station's communication systems suddenly came alive. Incoming transmissions from various scientific institutions showed growing excitement about their collaborative work. What had started as an unexpected medical intervention was now becoming a potential galactic breakthrough. Outside, the cosmic landscape continued its eternal dance. Massive research vessels moved like metallic whales through the infinite darkness, their advanced sensors tracking the revolutionary research happening within the station's protected environment. Hyun-Ki reflected on his journey. From a discarded soldier in a militaristic culture to a key participant in groundbreaking medical research, his entire understanding of personal value had transformed. The maintenance robots seemed to sense this transformation, their quantum processors creating complex ethical algorithms that recognized the profound nature of his journey. "In my previous life," Hyun-Ki translated through the advanced communication systems, "I was just a weapon. Now, I'm a potential source of hope for millions." Ji-Eun smiled, a simple human gesture that communicated more than words ever could. Their collaboration represented something far greater than medical research. It was a bridge between different ways of understanding existence, between seeing life as a resource and seeing it as a complex, valuable journey. The holographic displays pulsed with potential, each molecular structure telling a story of hope, of transformation, of unexpected connections. End of Part 4. The massive starship descended through the atmosphere of Viridian Prime, its advanced hull reflecting the planet's twin suns like a mirror of unprecedented possibility. Hyun-Ki stood at the observation deck, his transformed body a living testament to the journey that had brought him back home. Gone were the days of being a disposable soldier. Now he carried with him a medical breakthrough that would challenge everything his civilization believed about life, survival, and individual worth. The Viridian planetary surface spread out below, a landscape of geometric cities and massive industrial complexes that spoke of a civilization built entirely on military efficiency. Massive production facilities created war machines with the same precision one might cultivate a garden, each component carefully designed for maximum utility. Automated defense systems tracked the incoming vessel, their quantum sensors analyzing every microscopic detail. But something was different this time. This wasn't a returning war machine, but a harbinger of a completely new perspective. As the ship landed, a delegation of Viridian high commanders waited. Their metallic exoskeletons gleamed under the planetary sunlight, each movement calculated, each gesture a display of military precision. They expected a report, a tactical analysis, perhaps another set of combat strategies. What they would receive would change everything. Hyun-Ki's presentation wasn't just a medical report, it was a complete reimagining of their civilization's fundamental approach to life. Using holographic displays that seemed to breathe with living data, he showed how their current medical protocols were not just inefficient, they were fundamentally wrong. "We are more than weapons," his translated voice resonated through the massive conference chamber. "Each life contains potential beyond immediate military utility." The maintenance robots that had accompanied him seemed to stand slightly taller, their advanced AI systems processing the profound nature of his presentation. They had witnessed his entire transformation, from a discarded soldier to a revolutionary researcher. Outside the conference windows, massive military production facilities continued their endless work. Starship components moved along automated production lines, each piece designed with mathematical precision. But inside this room, a different kind of production was happening, the production of a new understanding. Ji-Yun's research documentation formed the backbone of his presentation. Complex molecular structures danced across holographic displays, showing regenerative capabilities that could save millions of lives across multiple star systems. Where the Viridian leadership expected a tactical report, they received a comprehensive reimagining of their entire approach to life. The high commanders remained silent. Their quantum-enhanced brains processed the information, running countless predictive models. This wasn't just a medical breakthrough, it was a potential cultural revolution. Hyun-Ki's personal journey became a powerful narrative. From a soldier who was considered disposable to a researcher who could potentially save entire civilizations, his story challenged every fundamental belief of the Viridian collective. "Our strength," he explained, "is not in our ability to destroy, but in our capacity to heal. Not in our uniformity, but in our potential for individual growth." The maintenance robots created subtle holographic projections, supporting his presentation with advanced data visualization. They seemed to understand the profound nature of this moment, a potential turning point for an entire civilization. As the presentation concluded, something unexpected happened. The rigid military commanders began to show signs of genuine interest. Questions emerged that went beyond tactical considerations, exploring the human potential for compassion that Hyun-Ki had discovered. Outside, the planetary landscape continued its eternal rhythm. Massive industrial complexes moved with mechanical precision, yet inside this conference chamber, a different kind of machinery was at work, the machinery of cultural transformation. Hyun-Ki realized his journey was more than personal redemption. It was about showing an entire civilization that there were alternative ways of understanding existence, that life wasn't just about efficiency, but about potential, about hope. The twin suns of Viridian Prime cast long shadows across the conference chamber, marking the beginning of a new understanding. End of Part 5, with the final part of the story